Have you ever wondered why there is a huge difference between people who plan for success and those who are reckless and find enjoyment in causing others trouble? Well, in this video, we have a Darius player, someone who wanted to kill us before even seeing the first wave. I knew something was off from the start. In this situation, I'm no fool. I know fighting Darius, who still has Ghost and Flash, is unwise. The smarter approach is not to panic, just play your spells. Here, I use Flash and E. The plan is simple. Stick to the wall, wait for my E to land on both of us, slow him, and then flash over the wall. If he follows, he'll get caught under the tower. Voila, we're safe. This is crucial, because we're behind in gold and experience, and the enemy jungler knows where we are. We need to play smart to stay in the game. After that encounter, we need to recover. Before this season, junglers used to do 2 camps. Red to blue or blue to red with 1 extra camp to hit level 3. Blue and red buffs used to have little pets that granted additional gold and experience. It was tough to get, but they offered a huge advantage. In this game, I went red into blue, hitting level 3, which is enough to hit a power spike. I then pathed incorrectly, backtracking to check red into blue into Darius's side. Why? Because I already know where he used his summoner spells at the start of the game. Time to pay him a visit. At this point, we're pretty much useless. Rocking the best useless build with Dark Seal, Tear, and Boots. Just an ambitious mix of items. We have to anticipate what the enemy team will do. Luckily, the team collapsed on us, and we managed to avoid a catastrophe. But I'm still not relevant in the game. The key is to recognize your role at each stage of the game. Are you a relevant player, or just dead weight relying on your allies? Right now, we're the latter. After securing the objective, I need to disappear from the map, farm, and hit level 6 before I become useful. Sadly, that death will slow us even more since dragons don't give valuable stats until you reach Soul or get Hextech or Chemtech Drake. Now, with our summoner spells back, let's not forget what happened earlier. Darius tried to kill me at level 1, and LeBlanc teamed up with 4 players to take me down after the Drake fight. These events stick with me, and it's time for some payback. The first target, LeBlanc. Ganking mid lane requires patience, especially with mobile mid laners. You need to wait until they burn their mobility, flash or CC, and strike when they're vulnerable. It's tough, but you should aim to land at least 1 good gank per game. Unfortunately, I overestimated my ability to survive after a successful gank. The hype got to me, and I thought I could finish both Darius and Warwick near the tower. I was wrong. We are back to being useless. After all these missteps, it's time to do something constructive. Camp bot lane. If you're looking to dive a lane, block the wave first. This forces them to either take damage from your wave or hug the tower. Both favorable outcomes. We successfully executed our first dive, and as always, if something works, repeat it until it doesn't. Bot lanes tend to have this dynamic. If one player dies, the other is likely to follow. The enemy bot lane made the mistake of dying multiple times, giving us the chance to farm gold and experience to get back into the game. Another thing to note is that we have a great support. Our Zac player is aggressive, and whenever I kindly ask him to rotate for objectives, he's there. I appreciate this quality. As a support, you should always look to explore opportunities. You might not lose much by roaming, but you could gain a lot, helping the jungler with objectives, setting up vision, or ganking. These little plays can snowball the game in your favor. At this point, the top lane is winning, the mid lane is neutral, and bot lane is where we need to focus. I start my clear by doing Krugs, heading through the river to potentially catch the enemy jungler or support out of position, then rotating to raptors in mid. Developing a habit of clearing while seeking ganks helps you gain more from the map instead of mindlessly farming camps. By now, the game has progressed, and we've all developed a sense of the enemy's tendencies. For example, I know who's ahead and who can likely kill me in a 1 versus 1. I also know the support is roaming, and their ADC is mostly farming. With this knowledge, I use the enemy's assumptions against them. I head topside, wait in the bush, and ambush Darius. It's satisfying after our early game encounters where he used Flash and Ghost so recklessly. This time, shame on it. To be honest, I have one word for this part. It is flexing time, and once winter's approach is fully stacked, it will be peaking time. From that play, I know we have reached a power milestone. That is why securing any dragon will be much easier, but we shouldn't get cocky. Any mistake might cost us the game. Positioning and awareness were everything here. A common mistake in mid-game skirmishes is overcommitting to a chase or a fight when objectives are still in play. I nearly fell into that trap, chasing LeBlanc too far. Remember, the goal isn't just kills, but control of the map. We secured the dragon, backed off, and started setting up for the next big play, Baron control. Baron is up and we need to be careful. The game is close and one bad team fight could turn it against us. I'm the tank, but I can't just walk into the enemy team without support. The key is to bait out their resources. Get their cooldowns, then engage. Here Zac initiates with a great knockup, and I follow up immediately. This is our chance to secure Baron. In great moments like these, where you think nothing can be worse than the early game, you find the most despicable things that can happen in life. Your own AD carry preferring to do jungle camps instead of securing the Baron buff. The Supremo uselessness effect. To be fair, I almost lost it. You never know what would be the thing that throw off your sense of self in League of Legends. The thing is that I had the idea that we are not super winning. What if we were super behind and he does that? Ultimate form of rage will be unleashed and the game would possibly be lost for just one tiny call from our AD carry. But the game is far from over. Happy thoughts, my dear brain. Happy thoughts. We rotate to bot lane to apply more pressure. The enemy has no vision, and this gives us the advantage. Pushing with Baron buff is a dance of patience. You don't want to throw your lead by getting greedy. One of the key things to remember is to use the pressure from super minions in other lanes to force the enemy into bad fights. I keep an eye on the map and wait for the enemy to split up. As soon as we see their Tristana alone, we chase that disproportionate Yordle shape. Securing another kill means even less resistance as we look to close out the game. We're approaching the endgame. The final push is in sight, but it's critical to avoid a last-minute mistake. We wait for the next wave of Baron-empowered minions, bait out their cooldowns once again, and engage when the time is right. I knew from the moment I saw our AD carry that this guy was an idiot. He lost to the enemy Darius, and in the most ridiculous way possible. Why did that happen? Because our AD carry is either overconfident in his champion, couldn't flash at the right time, didn't use his abilities properly. I'm actually glad our AD carry is dead, and I'll be even happier once I kill their top laner Darius. So, it's a win-win situation. At this instance, I'm just going to stay in one lane and push. That's all we need to do right now because we're winning. We should end the game. The smartest thing to do when you're ahead is to close the game. Why? Because every game, no matter how far ahead you are, has a tiny chance of a comeback. And nobody wants to drag out a 15-minute stomp into a 40-minute game where everyone is fed and you're just running around. Sure, I could build something like Riftmaker and become an unstoppable bear in the late game, but why risk it? We're risking the win for what? A flashy play for a clickbait video? That's not a smart call. Most of the time, even if you get a pentakill, you won't win the game. That's just how it is. To be fair, this one's totally on me. I'm not even sure if the pit was warded. I don't know if there's some tiny bug where you can see burn particle damage through the fog or what, but somehow, some way, Warwick managed to secure the Baron buff. Congrats to him, I guess. I didn't use my smite, and that's 100% on me. From now on, I'm going to make sure I use smite, even if I'm playing against bots. Hopefully I'll learn from this for future games. The enemy's win condition is their AD carry, and if she's down, the rest will fall apart. Our job is to pressure Tristana, force her to use her summoner spells or ultimate. Easier said than done, I presume. This is the final play. Most of the enemy team are dead, and we're left with our support Zac and our overly confident but useless AD carry. And with that, dear viewers, the video comes to an end. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I'll keep spamming this build until we hit a roadblock, then maybe switch to a new one, possibly the Protobelt build from the boss FFS. I like the idea since I've used Stridebreaker before, but we'll see how it goes. Until next time, take care and peace.